Howdy. I wanted to do another video showing my process of how I play cover songs on the Handpan. I know my first video was kind of more in the moment. I was just sharing a new song that I had never done before, and it was I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. Today I'm going to show you hopefully a little bit more details and answer some questions that you might have. So this is a more simple song. This is You Are My Sunshine. And if you want to play cover songs, I would recommend starting off with a simpler song like You Are My Sunshine, Amazing Grace, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Those are going to be easier to learn at first. And then as you progress, you can try something harder. But if you start off with something like The Gambler or Pink Pony Club, it's probably going to discourage you from wanting to play cover songs. So just start off with something easy, and then as you get more used to it, it's just going to become easier. So today I'm going to do You Are My Sunshine, and I'm going to kind of just share with you my process behind everything. First, I find the sheet music, and I just searched online for You Are My Sunshine sheet music. I found this version here with an alto saxophone, and it doesn't really matter which instrument the sheet music is for, because we're just going to translate whatever the sheet music is to your handpan. So the way that I do that is I look at the sheet music. I can see from the key signature that there's no sharps or flats, and so it is in C major. And if you're not sure what the key signature is, you can always Google it, and I do it all the time because I'm not a classically trained musician. I grew up playing saxophone, and I'm not fluent at reading sheet music. I can look at sheet music and figure stuff out, but I can't read a song that I've never played and play it on the spot. So I just played saxophone for a few years, and I know how to read sheet music. So I have a very basic understanding of sheet music here. So all the time when I see key signatures, I will just search online 3 flat key signature, 5 sharp key signature, and just try and find out what it is. So if you're not sure, just look it up online. So this one has no flats, and that means that it's in C major. So since we're in C major here on the sheet music, I do not have a C major handpan. So here's how I translate whatever key it's in to my handpan. I will find out what key the sheet music is, which is C major, and then I'll find that C note. And so on here, the C note is going to be that second space down from the top. So it's going to be where that second note is. That's going to be the C note on the C major sheet music, but I'm in E major. So since that's the C note in C major, I'm going to just remember in my head, I'm just going to visualize that the E note here is going to be that second note. So my E note, since it's my home root note, is going to be my second note on this sheet music. So that second space down where it says it's the C note and it's in C major, I'm just going to remember in my head that that's now my E note. So whenever I'm looking at this C major sheet music, that second space down is always going to be my E note, and then that next line up is going to be my F sharp, and then that first space from the top is going to be my G sharp, and then that top line is going to be my A. And then I can go up even further from there, but I can also go down. So from that second space, that E note, if I go down to that middle line, that's going to be my D sharp. And then that next space underneath my E note is going to be my C sharp. And that next line down where that first note is going to be my B. So as long as there's no sharps or flats in this arrangement, then we can pretty much go up and down from that where that second note is, that E, and have the whole scale as long as there's no sharps. So if you find sheet music that has a bunch of sharps and flats in it, it's going to be a little bit trickier to translate to your handpan. This song has one sharp in it, and if it has one or two sharps, a lot of the times you can use another note as a substitute and people won't really notice that you're missing a note. So we determined what key it's in. It's in C major, and we determined how to translate it to my key. So I'm in E major, so that E note here, my home note, is going to be that second note. Now, quick side note, if you have a minor handpan, some of these songs are going to be a little bit trickier to play and have them sound full. Most popular songs are going to be in a major key. And so if you have a major handpan that has 7 different notes and it's a fully diatonic scale, then it's going to be a little bit easier. If you have a pentatonic handpan and you only have 5 different notes, you will probably have to use another handpan to get some extra notes from. If you have a minor handpan, like I said, it's going to be a little bit trickier to make it have a full, rich sound, but you will be able to do a lot of these songs. Some of the songs require a note that is not popular on a D minor handpan. It's not a common note, it's the B flat 4. And if you're missing that note, some of these songs are going to be really tricky. So that's why I like having a major scale. Is a major scale has all the notes of the diatonic scale, and this one has 2 full octaves. So I have a low octave here. I got my do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then I have a second octave. So I have all 7 notes and there's no gaps. So it's very versatile. But yeah, let's go back to You Are My Sunshine now. And whatever key your handpan is, you're just going to look at You Are My Sunshine, and you're going to remember that second note there, since it says it's in C major, if you have a D major handpan, that second note is now your D note. If you have an F major handpan, which would be a D minor handpan, that second note is going to be your F note, and so on. So if you have a G major handpan, that second note is your G note. If you have a B major handpan, that second note is your B note. So you're just going to have to remember that in your head. At least that's the process that I use. So once I determine how to transpose it from whatever key it's in to my handpan, I'm just going to learn the basic melody. And I start off just like the sheet music says, learning this simple melody here. And we're going to start off with this B note. There's that sharp that I was talking about. I can play this note and you don't really notice that it's missing. So it says I should have a G there, but I can play this F sharp and it sounds fine. So like I said, a lot of the times if there's only 1 or 2 sharps, you can play a different note and people won't really notice that you're missing a note. So here's that first line. Second line. Third line. Last line. So that's just the basic melody of You Are My Sunshine, and it sounds great. I could play that and it would sound pretty good. You know, I bet people would enjoy that if I just went. And I mean, let's be honest, anything on the handpan sounds amazing. So that sounds pretty good. But I want to bring it more life. I want to just make it sound a little bit more full, like there's maybe a couple different instruments going on or something. So the way that I do that is I might actually add some more notes in the melody. And so here's an example of that, where I'm playing the same basic melody, but I might just play a couple extra notes or just double up on some notes. So that sounds pretty good, just adding some extra little flair and some finger rolls and adding some extra notes in between some of the spaces just makes it sound a little bit more full. But what I really want to do is have like a melody going and then a rhythm going at the same time. And so a lot of this is going to really revolve around some hand independence. And so it's really important to practice some different hand independence exercises and get comfortable with playing a melody on one hand and then a rhythm on your other hand. So a lot of these songs, since they're in a major key and I'm in E major, if I use my 1, 3, 5 note, which is my major chord, so in the whole major scale, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the scale repeats. 1. If I use that 1, 3, 5, that's gonna sound really good, especially if I'm playing with stuff that has the G sharp, which is my 3, the B, which is my 5, E, which is my 1. Anytime I'm playing in the melody in this area, using that 1, 3, 5 will probably sound pretty good with it. Now in You're My Sunshine, there's a part where it goes. That's good for the 1, 3, 5. This next part, I want to switch to using my 4 and 6 note, where it goes. Up here, since I'm playing on the high end of the melody, I'm playing my 4 and my 6 up here. I want to play the 4 and the 6 down here. So this is where hand independence and octave training become important, because a lot of the times when you're accompanying your melody, you're going to be playing lower notes that are going to just be the lower octave of what your melody notes are. So here's the example here with You Are My Sunshine. I can start off playing the first part of the melody in this area, and then on that second part, I'm going to switch to these notes here, and if I accompany it with these, it's going to sound a lot better than if I was to just stay over here. So here's the example. And you'll notice I switched back to my 1, 3, 5 there at the end. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the same notes as the melody, but on a lower octave to accompany it. So when I'm up here doing this, that sounds good until then I switch back to there. If I was still doing these 4 and 6 notes, it's just more dissonant sounding, and that's not really what I'm going for with You're My Sunshine. And vice versa, if I stayed on 1, 3, 5 the whole time, it just wouldn't have the same feel. So here it is, just using 1, 3, 5. it sounds better if when I've gone up to that 4 and 6 note, if I switch to the 4 and 6 for my rhythm here. And that's what I'm doing for a lot of the times when I'm accompanying songs on rhythm. I'm just doing 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, or maybe 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, 6, 4, 6. Yeah, sorry, 1, 6, 4, 6, 1, 6, 4, 6. But the cool thing about these chords is you can basically do it any way you want. You could do 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1, 4, 6, 4. Or 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1, 6, 4, 6, 1, 6, 4. So it's just whatever you're going for. But with You Are My Sunshine, what I do is I do the melody, and then as I'm playing the melody with my left hand, I'm playing that rhythm. Just going between 1, 5, 3, 5 and 1, 4, 6, 4. So here's a full verse here to show you what it would sound like. Now there at the end, I did play my A note. I played my 4, but I didn't switch my rhythm there for that one note because it was just one note, and it's gonna sound better if I just do instead of trying. I mean, I guess that sounds all right. So we could do that too. There's no limit on what you can and can't do. So I'm just showing you my version of You Are My Sunshine, but I would love to see you guys play your own version of You Are My Sunshine. Just find the sheet music, translate it to your key, and then try and play it on your handpan. The cool thing about this handpan here is that I can also play in another key. So I just showed you in E major how to play You Are My Sunshine, but maybe I want to play it in B major. I almost have a full diatonic B major scale here. Not quite, but I have enough to be able to play You Are My Sunshine. So if I start here on this high F sharp, that's my first note, looking at the sheet music, because I'm in B major now. That second note is going to be my B. So if I start here, I can go. And that's the end of my notes, but every note on the handpan, this is one of the cool things about the handpan, every note has harmonics. So you have an octave and a fifth on every note. Well, if I use those harmonics, now I can extend my range of my handpan out to get even higher. So here we go with You Are My Sunshine in B major. Here comes the harmonic. So maybe I want to combine both of them now. Maybe I want to make a song where I have multiple verses of You Are My Sunshine, but I'm not just repeating the same thing over and over. It might sound good to repeat it over and over, but what's going to grab people's attention more is changing it up slightly each time. So if I do a few different verses and each verse, it's just a little bit different each time, then it's going to really keep people engaged and wanting to listen to it more. So here's my version of You Are My Sunshine. I showed you the basic melody. I showed you how to translate it from the key to E major. And now I'm just going to show you my version, which has a little bit more accompaniment to it. And the more that you practice different techniques, the easier it's going to be to apply those techniques to different songs and add little fills and things to kind of bring it more live. So I hope that this has been helpful for you today. If you have any questions, please reach out. I would love to see more people playing handpan in healthcare and education in the community. And I really think that playing familiar songs is the key to getting this instrument into more places. So if you can play You Are My Sunshine, Amazing Grace, songs that people know, it's going to bring them together and it's going to make people want to sing, and it's just going to bring more peace and joy, and we just need to bring people together more now than ever. So I will just leave you with my version of You Are My Sunshine. Hopefully this was helpful, and I appreciate you watching.